Hello, it's Jang here with a look at a Mega Bloks Assassin's Creed set. This is Chariot Chase, comes with 315 pieces. I believe this is mostly inspired by Revelations, although there are some differences from the famous Chariot Chase sequence from that game. And you can see that the chariot itself, or the cart, is quite rather large. That's the thing that stood out the most for me. It was the most unexpected, just how large that is, how large it builds up to be. Also, speaking of building, there are some differences, some addendums to the original instructions that are included with the manual, and it's quite a bit of stuff. Because this is printed in black and white, it's a little bit tough to see what color is actually indicated here, but just want to let you know that these down here are supposed to be the lighter reddish brown color that you see on the cart. So you'll see that color inside of here, just so you don't get confused on that. But beyond just the little bit of color configuration, or confusion there actually, it was actually fairly straightforward to put together and has a nice bit of display value to it. This back here is an interesting launcher that works a little bit, not as much as I would like it to. It's able to rotate around a bit, not too much. You get just a little bit of adjustability there. This top part can be raised and lowered, but it doesn't actually do anything. It's supposed to be kind of simulating the winch mechanism in here, and this is supposed to be some of the rope that is wound up. But ultimately, this is a flick missile launcher in real life, and you just have these little projectiles, built-up projectiles. There are 3 of them included in the set. They look like this, and they don't shoot out very well. So very unsatisfied with this section back here, because they fit in there loosely. If you get it to work just right, then you're okay, but ultimately you're trying to do that to cause it to shoot out, and it's not very accurate or repeatable how it works. You can bring down this rear section here, and there's that piece that I started to lose. You've got wheels that actually roll. Very nice printed details on the sides along here. It's not just these parts that have the more obvious decoration, but also in between those center planks have the little bit of print on the top and or bottom going around there, so that really makes it look a lot nicer. And there's a little bit of a hidden feature right here. You may see just a hint of a sword right here. Well, there's a little thing that you can pull back here that will just bring the swords out to the sides, and there's one on either side, good for your chariot versus chariot battles, cart versus cart. That works nicely, and it is built completely differently with the addendum version, the addendum parts that are included in here than the original design. I'm sure that this works out much better. And then you get to the horses. These are probably the stars of the show, if you ask me, because they are articulated. You can see that the front limbs are fully articulated, well, except for the wrists or the feet down there. The rears, however, only articulate at the hip, so that's all one piece right there, unfortunately, the way that that goes together. You can raise and lower the tail a bit, and overall it just has a very nice mold to it, very high quality molding. There's a little bit of a ball joint behind here, so you get just a little bit of posability of the heads. You can rotate them around, move them up and down a bit. The whole thing moves up and down. You can kind of bring the horse down towards the ground. But I just think they look quite nice, and you can get some good posing out of them. It was good to actually put them together as a build. It's also good to put the entire harness together. Gosh, what is wrong with my speech today? Putting the harness together was very nice, and it's made of a lot of very small pieces. There's one thing that's a little bit tricky with it, and that's attaching the reins in here. You have to tie it up as small of a knot as you can, and I found that that knot would come out kind of easily. It's pretty high quality braided cordage here. By taking a cigarette lighter or a small flame to the end there, you can just slightly melt down the free end down there, and then it'll hold much better. You just have to be careful not to melt it in too far and don't catch anything else on fire, but that's actually held down from the top. So this just creates a little loop at the end. You see, it's just a very simple little knot, and you can't tie it up too much because you'll lose length from the line. You need all the length that you can get, but just removing that from this spot completely frees the horse, and the horse has 2 holes in the back of it. You only use one of those holes for this particular set where it's hooked up, but I'm assuming that the other hookup is for future uses where they'll probably give us saddles and other things. The figures are Ezio in box art white robes and then just a random expendable soldier. Ezio has the nice printed or painted sword this time, so actually 2 different colors on that one weapon. Nice to get that in Assassin's Creed figures. And he's also got the 2 hidden blades. Looks like one of them is positioned a little bit wrong right now, but he also has a bomb. That is a halo plasma grenade that's been recolored, so now it's in transparent orange. I don't know what type of bomb it's supposed to be. Basically it's an old school grenade, right? But I think it's cool to get the piece, even if it's not the most realistic thing. I think it still looks good. The soldier looks good too. Has a good amount of detail on the vest. I appreciate the bands of the gold color. I guess it's supposed to be bronze there. And looking at these figures from the back, you see that Ezio also gets a bit of cloth that you're able to drape over the back. It's a little bit on the stiff side, but it kind of tries to return to its original shape, so it doesn't drape quite as well as I would like. Kind of needs to be trained a little bit to flow down a little bit more, but once that's done, I think that'll work well. I'm most happy that the set includes both the hood and the hair for him, so when you take off the hood, if you want to, you don't have to see a bald head with a big hole in the top of it to accept the hood. So you get both versions and both views this way. Also has the sash that's able to hold the sword in it. And that pretty much does it for this set. I really do feel that the horses are the highlight of the set. I think they look really nice. I look forward to seeing them used, or those molds used, in more different things in the future. Overall, the cart, I think it looks good from the side. The extra amount of detail they added in with the launcher, I think looks good just on display to some degree, but this set as an entire set isn't that compelling to me because of the number of pieces that you end up having to pay for, and what you get out of it just doesn't feel all that useful to me. It doesn't feel like a major iconic thing that is really worth the amount of space that it takes up for display on a shelf, and the play value is a little bit limited with it for the younger audience. So just for me personally, not my favorite, not the best use of money in my opinion for or amongst Assassin's Creed sets. Please feel free to share your thoughts, including if you disagree with my opinions, by leaving a comment down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll be talking to you again very soon.